Hi there, I'm Kristy Jo, and I am the author of The Power Foods Lifestyle. I would like to talk to you a little bit about Candida. This is something I've dealt with in several clients, and so what we do is we work together as a team to come up with a way of eating that will help them to reduce that overgrowth. So let's talk about what Candida is, where it comes from, what are the symptoms of it, because we all know that you could probably Google anything and come up with something wrong with you. So we want to be very careful about that. However, it is a very real thing and there is a solution. So that should be the first thing you should know. And then I'll go into the plan that many members of Body Buddies World, the place that is the hub for all of these different meal plans and workouts per category for different parts of our health goals, that I have written these plans for, so they have access to those. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and jump over to bodybuddiesworld.com. And if you are a member watching this from within Body Buddies World, I'm so happy you're here and ready to really attack this goal of reducing the Candida overgrowth. So what is Candida? Well, first of all, it's natural to have a little. It naturally occurs. It's a type of yeast, it's a fungus, and it helps with digestion. Okay, and there's a little bit, it's in your mouth, it's in your intestines, but the problem is when it overgrows. So let's talk about what causes this overgrowth. This can be from eating a diet high in refined carbohydrates and sugar. How many of us are guilty of that? And I say us, so it doesn't sound like I'm talking to you, but yeah. All right, consuming a lot of alcohol, taking oral contraceptives, that's a big one. Eating a diet high in beneficial fermented foods, things like kombucha, sauerkraut, pickles. I lived in Korea for 2 years. Kimchi is also going to fall on that list. Living a high stress lifestyle. How many of us fall under that category? And taking a round of antibiotics that killed too many of those friendly bacteria. And this is a common thing that I see as a nutritionist, where people come to me with these different issues or weight goals or body goals, or they need to learn how to eat better to manage a particular symptom. And the biggest culprit is I see that people are so quick to turn to antibiotics. And so we want to really watch out for that. What are some common signs and symptoms of Candida? You may get things like athlete's foot or toenail fungus and skin and nail fungal infections. You may be feeling tired and worn down or suffering from chronic fatigue, but that could be a lot of things, so be careful on that one. Digestive issues such as bloating, constipation, or diarrhea. Autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto's, let's see what else, lupus, psoriasis, or multiple sclerosis. Skin issues like eczema, hives and rashes, irritability, mood swings, anxiety or depression, vaginal infections, urinary tract infections, rectal itching or vaginal itching, strong sugar and refined carbohydrate cravings. That's a big one. So you can test for it by getting a blood test. You can get stool tests. You can also get a urine test for it, okay? So there's a lot of different ways to really truly know if you have Candida overgrowth. Well, how do we treat it? The thing is, we need to think of your gut as under construction. It's under repair. We have to do everything to bring down inflammation. So we have to ask ourselves, what are the key things that are causing inflammation? Well, that's going to be all of your processed carbohydrates. That's going to be a lot of your refined sugars. That's going to be even artificial sweeteners can cause inflammation. So let's go through what some of these key things are. And if you are unfamiliar with the Power Foods Lifestyle, that's the book and the methodology of nutrition that I have helped hundreds and hundreds of people use, and just seen such great, better understanding of nutrition in general in a more simple term, but it gives you the principles to be able to adapt nutrition to you and your lifestyle. It's not like this is the one way. There's multiple ways. And instead it helps us better identify what we're doing and stick to a strategy that is going to help us arrive at our goals. So we want to be sure to choose the majority of our power foods. Now you can download your free copy of the power foods list on body-buddies.com under the self-training tab. So go ahead and print that power foods list out. They're identified by proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and veggies. Now veggies are not a macronutrient, but they are a category on their own in the Power Foods Lifestyle methodology. So we want to make sure we're getting moderate protein at every meal, you know, about 15 to 20 grams or so. And this is assuming you're eating 5 to 6 meals per day. We want to really stabilize that blood sugar, because when your blood sugar is stabilized, you're going to be less likely to have these spikes and these drops. Guess what those spikes and those drops cause? They cause inflammation. Where do they come from? Eating a high carbohydrate meal, the simple carbohydrates, white flour, white sugars, processed carbohydrates, just sugar in general, and any of those things. Even fruit can really irritate and cause inflammation. So even though, yes, it's a natural sugar in fruits, fructose, it is not processed the same in your body as glucose, which is the most abundant form of sugar that's broken down from carbohydrates. And so we want to respect fruit. If you are going to eat fruit, I'm going to encourage you to pair it with a protein source, 15 to 20 grams or so, and make sure you're only eating about half a cup of fruit. That's a huge problem I see with people, is they're throwing all of these healthy fruits in a protein shake. They've got fructose up the wazoo in that protein shake. Beautiful, that's wonderful, you're eating whole natural foods, but there's science involved here, okay? So you need to keep that portion size. I recommend to half a cup. If it's a fruit, I say like half a pear, half an orange, half an apple, half a banana, half cup of berries, or any combination of such in order to achieve that gross amount of half cup. Watch out for the things that are going to cause inflammation with carbohydrates, particularly gluten. Okay, now I am not a gluten-free bandwagoner. I don't teach that. I don't promote it. However, with certain things like Candida overgrowth, it is something you need to pay attention to. So the key being, I don't think you should actually swing the other way and go gluten-free everything, because you need to understand your carbohydrate total amount is key. So great, you get the gluten out. Well, if you're still getting sugar from carbohydrates and you haven't metered that and put your body in a state where you can control, it's the blood sugar. If you put too many carbohydrates in your body at once, blood sugar is going to rise. You're out of that prime stable environment. So we want to watch out for that. Even things that are derived from corn, particularly, you're going to want to stay from popcorn, from chips. Let's see here. Popcorn, chips. Fruits we've talked about. So we want to focus more on, we call them PVF meals in the Power Foods Lifestyle, protein, veggie, fat meals. And so this is going to be pairing good fats like avocado, raw nuts, olives, coconut oil, coconut butter, combining those with a vegetable and a protein to form the bulk of your meals. And these are smaller meals, remember. And so depending on if you're male, female, if you need to gain weight, lose weight, maintain, those are all the variables that are really, really dependent upon your situation. And if you really need a customized plan, I recommend you check out my coaching, which you can look more on the tab of coaching on body-buddies.com. But if you just need this plan and you just need a go-to and you need the resources and the recipes, then Body Buddies World is going to be a great place for you. So other things to avoid are going to be the starchy vegetables. So things like even carrots, some of our carbs, some of the power carbs I recommend for people are yams and red potatoes. Well, if you're dealing with Candida overgrowth, let's really minimize and get those out and stick at the most we can to PVF meals. If you really need some carbs, I would say go for a gluten-free oat. Things like quinoa would be really good, using those as PVC meals, protein, veggie, carb meals. How delicious would it be to have 3 to 4 ounces of boiled chicken breast, salted and tossed in a beautiful leafy green salad with some lovely quinoa that's been steamed and added with some like Thai green paste for a delicious flavor. And you wouldn't want to top it with tomato. We want to watch out for that fructose content. So perhaps topping it with some olives, just a little bit of some fats as well. That's not going to contribute too many fats, so it's still a pretty integrative PVC meal. We're going to also avoid all dairy except for yogurt, and I'm going to go further. Plain Greek yogurt. Flip your labels over. 95% of the yogurts I see as I go in my grocery store several times per week is the sugar content is so high, even in Greek yogurt. Guys, you've got to get that sugar content below 10 grams, 5 to 10 grams. If you're really serious about this, per food you eat, per meal you eat, I don't think you should sit there and add up the total sugars, but look at the food, the wholesome food. Look at the label if you're eating not a whole food that came from the earth. Look at it. How many grams of sugar are in that? You need to get that down. So with this plan in Body Buddies World, it's Lifestyle Change J, and I've built it for a female. If any of you are watching this that need me to build a male version, just let me know. I'll be happy to put the male version up in Body Buddies World. So it starts out with the Tex-Mex omelet, which is from my recipe book, volume 3, which is a nice egg white omelet with some vegetables and some avocado, so a PVF meal. Then you're going to want to do a protein shake. Now, because we want to watch out for artificial sweeteners, one other side note on that is using apple cider vinegar is going to be a great thing. You can either just do a quick little chug like that, or you can just use it as a salad top or anything like that. Apple cider vinegar is going to be a great thing to be using, but most other vinegars, even mustards, I'd say, just maybe minimize your use of them. Let's see here. Okay, so I recommend, due to wanting to avoid the artificial sweeteners, an egg-based protein. I use Egg Whites International. You can find them at eggwhitesint.com, and go ahead and use my code BODYBUDDIES, all one word, all lowercase, to save on your purchase. And so you'll mix those egg whites. I know it sounds crazy, but it's not. And a lot of people are like, oh, no, you can't even taste it, guys. You're going to mix it with a cup of unsweetened almond milk or any non-dairy alternative. We're talking rice milk, coconut milk, cashew milk, you name it, any blend of that, but they need to be unsweetened. Otherwise, all you've done is get rid of the lactose in the milk, but not the sugar. So get the unsweetened kind. So mix that up. I like to throw in some cinnamon, some pumpkin pie spice. You can use any real extracts or just have fun playing around with the flavors of that. But I find that just a dash of cinnamon, I am the happiest person alive because it's delicious. And then a side of some quinoa mixed with some zucchini to round out that PVC meal. Now that's the only PVC meal I have on this plan, and I recommend I've put it as meal 2, but if you're working out in the evening, I want you to put that as the post-workout. If you're working out in the morning, I want you to put that as the post-workout. So use meal 2 to place behind your workout. If you're not working out that day, consider changing it to a PVF meal, meaning you're going to ex-nay the quinoa, bring in some fats. Maybe you could throw some coconut oil in that shake. Maybe you could do a tablespoon of peanut butter or coconut butter. Maybe you could do 10 to 15 large black olives, or 2 to 3 ounces of avocado. Get some good fats in there. Next is burrito in a bowl, which is a recipe from my recipe book, volume 2. This is ground turkey with some leafy greens. It's this nice salad. You're going to use salsa, some guacamole or avocado, and it's really delicious. That's a huge favorite. So simple to make and easy for, preparing to go to work or on the go, wherever you need that. Your next afternoon snack, just lean protein. I recommend chicken breast with some bell pepper, some broccoli, and some olives. Just basically diced it all up in a little container. You can have a plastic fork, eat that at your desk, on the go, running errands, whatever you're doing. But that's just a quick little fuel into the body. Keep the blood sugar balanced. Keep yourself feeling full, so when you arrive at meal 5, you're not feeling you're not going to go crazy on eating. Meal 5, I've given you coconut Cajun shrimp salad. If you don't like shrimp, that's totally fine. Exchange that protein source for other fish, or you can do chicken, you can do ground turkey, you could even substitute sirloin or a leaner red meat up to 2 to 3 times per week. Red meat is fine, but let's keep it to under 3 times per week. And if you are in a fat loss phase as well, I'd recommend you don't have any added fats. If you're going to go with a fattier meat like red meat, then it should just be red meat and all of your vegetables. And finally, the bedtime snack, if you will, usually about an hour to 2 hours before bed. PVF meal, so mixing plain Greek yogurt with PB2. If you're not familiar with PB2, it's a powdered peanut butter. Just Google it and you could find a really great deal. It may be at your local grocery store, or you may need to order online, just depends on where you live. And so if you mix that up, it's going to turn into like a peanut butter pudding. And all of a sudden it's going to be yummier. And then you're going to chop up either walnuts or almonds. Make sure they're raw. 2 tablespoons. That's our peak range, 8 to 12 grams within the Power Foods Lifestyle lingo. So that completes the P and the F, but we still need the V. So I throw in 2 stalks of celery. It's not like if you want to dip that, great. If it were me, I'd eat it separately, or you could do cucumber. Remember the principle that all of your veggies are exchangeable within the realms of don't be choosing your really, really starchy ones and your sugary ones. Stay away from the carrots, stay away from the beets, the peas, etc. So other than that, you should be good to go on exchanging any of your veggies. Just the rule of thumb is serving. A cup, you know, size of your fist or 2, you know, you don't want to limit your veggies, but at the same time, I'm not a believer in unlimited veggies. It's a mindset thing. So that is the gist of the plan. I do recommend the basic supplements, fish oil, calcium, D3, magnesium glycinate, and L-glutamine. This one is huge. If you are dealing with Candida growth, you need to be on L-glutamine powder, point blank. Okay, this is going to help repair the cell integrity of your intestines. Okay, so that helps decrease inflammation. L-glutamine is great for so many demographics. That's not a vitamin, that's on the supplement side, and that is #1 recommended supplement. #1 recommended vitamin, fish oil, omega-3, same thing. Okay. And I recommend nutrikey.net for the fish oil, nutrikey.net. And for the supplement side, jdjnutrition.com. Use my code BODBUDS, BODBUDS, to save money on your purchase. All right, on the Plan in Body Buddies world, I go through meal timing principles. Meal 1, come within an hour of waking up. Every meal 2.5 to 3 hours apart. Final meal of the day, not a meal number, but final meal of the day. Depends on your waking hours. An hour to 2 hours before bed. If you, on this plan, if you need, because I've written it for the macros to be 147 grams of protein, 94 grams of carbs. It's a lower carb plan because of that inflammation. 59.4 grams of fat and 1,482 calories. So let's say you're in a fat loss phase and you're like, well, I just want less calories. Well then, or fewer calories, then you need to just cut down the portions of fats in each meal by about 25%. And you should be good to go there. More calories, you're going to increase the protein and the fat serving in meals 3 and 5. So if I assigned 4 ounces of protein and I need you to increase that, then maybe go up to 6 ounces of protein. Or the fats, you know, if it was 2 ounces of avocado, maybe do 3 ounces of avocado. So that's how we adjust the total caloric number while keeping the integrity of each meal to preserve that environment. Blood sugar levels are #1. So know that you absolutely can manage this, but are you going to need to have some good strategies in place to help minimize your dependence on sugar and carbohydrates and setting yourself up for success in social situations? Absolutely. Goal setting, accountability, these are things that absolutely matter. So if you are even remotely thinking, gosh, I just don't know if I have the follow through, I need you to look at my coaching packages because I want to be there guiding you through every step of the way, and they're on call for you to be able to talk you through those difficult situations, because willpower is finite. You only have so much. And every individual on this earth needs that person in their corner. So I hope you will check that out, body-buddies.com. Just click on the tab that says coaching. So, all right, I hope this helps you to understand and better manage your Candida, or somebody in your life who has Candida. Absolutely can be managed. Know that there is so much power in nutrition. Trust your body. Let it evolve. Nothing gets fixed overnight, but it comes from small changes and behavioral changes, new habits. So you can do this. I'm cheering you on. 1 meal, 1 workout, 1 day at a time.